Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Camila Gonzalez, and it is such an honor to be here with former Leafs captain and probably one of the most beloved Toronto Maple Leafs of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Wendel Clark.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
Welcome, welcome. Now, how does it feel after all these years to still hear Leafs fans cheering your name and cheering you on?
No, you play. Well, usually it means you played for the right organization, which is in Toronto. Huge Leafs fans follow everybody, and it's always good to be remembered.
Now, a lot of Leafs jerseys are here today. How are you feeling going into Game 4 tonight?
Pretty good, actually. Normally, you don't know, but I think we should be okay. But you know, Ottawa's played well enough to win the last two games. You know, overtime, you never know what happens. So this will be the hardest win out of the four.
Now, I want to go back to your playing days. You were known as Captain Crunch. You were one of the more aggressive, tough players on the ice. What was it that made you so fearless when you were on the ice?
No, I grew up playing physical hockey. I was a defenseman my whole life. My first 18 years, I played defense. I got drafted to the Leafs, and Jerry McNamara said, "You're a forward." And so I turned into being a forward, and I always liked playing physical. And when you play physical, then you have to own up for a few other things once you've hit somebody. So, yeah, and I didn't mind playing that way, so I had a lot of fun playing.
And if you look at the league today, is there anyone on the ice that sort of resembles that old school style of hockey that you played?
No, you probably the captain of Ottawa. Brady plays a lot like that. The way he finishes checks, gets in there, and he's growing into himself. He gets into the odd fight here and there. So probably Brady Tkachuk.
Can't mention him today.
Can't mention Brady today.
Now, you wore the C. You were obviously a huge leader when it came to the organization. What does it take to be a successful captain in a market like Toronto?
Well, basically, you're very honored that the team thinks you're able to be captain of their great team, great organization. And then you just, like my buddy just in the back, I've seen Dougie Gilmour, you lead by example. You just show up on time, work hard, be a great teammate, be a good person to everybody in and around the building, because it really is an extension. It isn't just the 20 guys. It's an extension of everybody in the building. That's who you're representing. So really, it's like anything else in life, show up on time and work hard.
And can you walk us through your favorite memory wearing a Leafs jersey?
I don't know if I have a favorite one. I never got to win the Stanley Cup, so I can't pull the Stanley Cup out. But I always say getting drafted in 1985. The draft was in Toronto for the first time that it wasn't in Montreal. And everything I do today, so you think of it 45 years later, is still because I got drafted to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Amazing. Now, we're at the Sports Card Expo. I've got to ask, do you remember that moment when you first saw yourself on a hockey card?
No, the first hockey card would have been actually playing junior, because we were associated with the Saskatoon Police. So I'd have been connected with the Saskatoon Police Association and a Saskatoon Blades hockey card.
And do you collect any memorabilia?
I never did. I have a sweater from a home and away jersey from each team I played on. My old hockey stall from the Gardens. Couple wood sticks that I've tracked down. I've stolen off people that come to get them autographed. And my last two pair of skates that I ever wore.
Now, I want to ask you, back to your playing days, who was the toughest opponent that you ever faced off against?
I don't know any one toughest. A lot of tough guys, hockey-wise, not necessarily always fighting, but a guy that I battled with all the way up through junior and then the NHL, and then we became teammates, was actually Bob Rouse. Played in Minnesota, played in Lethbridge, played in Washington, and then got to play with us, and then he won a Stanley Cup with Detroit. But Rouser was always like the right defenseman. I was a left winger, so we always had to play against each other, and he's a very, hard-nosed hockey player that wasn't scared of anything.
And you're still involved with the organization as an ambassador, but can you tell us what's one thing that you miss the most about being a professional hockey player, and then maybe one thing that you do not miss at all?
I don't miss training camp. That's it. Old guys don't like training camp as it is. And the only thing you miss all the time is this time of the year. Playoff hockey is what all of us old guys miss. This is the energy, how it was down there. at the arena the first 2 games in Toronto. This time of year is what is a lot of fun to play.
There's a lot of kids in the audience I see. Do you have any advice for them if they would want to one day, you know, follow in your footsteps, play for the Oilers, perhaps?
Yeah, no, just play hard, have fun, and stay in the middle of the ice. You can only score on both ends. Remember, when you're playing, your buddies always want to say they stay wide and stay open, and it's only you and your dad know you're wide open when you're playing hockey. Always follow the puck. Always come back towards the puck. When my son was your age, and I would put him on the ice, and he'd say, well, that guy never passes. He's a puck hog. And I say, well, then just follow him, because he's going to get checked. Then you get the puck. But so many times at youngsters, you always want to stay so wide because the ice is so big for little guys. And now you're always wide open, but your buddy's not good enough to get you the puck and be able to pass it that far. So you always want to come back to the puck. And in the NHL, it's the same thing they're telling the guys tonight. Come back to the puck. You got to play in the middle of the ice and shoot the puck. Those 3 things are what Craig Berube will be saying to the Leafs today in their meeting, I guess, before the game. And it's the same things you'd say to the kids at any age. And a lot of times you hear all the people talking Saturday night on TV or in between periods, and they make the game sound so hard. That's just the talking heads. They just make it sound harder than it is. It's really a simple game. Doesn't matter the era. It's just play and be around the puck.
Tonight's obviously a big game. I'm always curious, as an athlete, do you have any superstitions or pre-game rituals that you would do ahead of a massive game?
No, mine was always the same. I actually had to change as I grew up. I used to throw up before every game. I would get too wound up, and I'd be like, so I had to stop doing that because I'd be losing weight as the year was going on because taking too much energy. So it's only real big games I would get myself that worked up. And now when I'm not playing and I'm just in the PR, I'm not in the hockey part, I'm just PR and fans and everything outside. I usually start watching the game, and if we haven't scored yet, I leave and listen to Joe Bowen and Ralphie on the radio, and we always score when I leave the building.
So you're not in the building tonight?
No, I'm not in the building. I'm at my restaurant in Oshawa tonight watching the game, and the same thing will happen. If we haven't scored any goals by end of the first, I'm taking off.
Can we get a prediction?
No, I can't make any prediction. I'm just keeping our fingers crossed the good guys do well.
Do you have a message to all those Leafs fans that are here tonight, obviously really excited for this year's run?
But yeah, no, it's a great year to be a Leaf fan, I think, and hang in there, stay tough. I think our team is, we've played 3 games already. I don't even think we've played well yet, and we're up 3-0. So I think it's a good sign. I think our guys play, and when I say don't play well, they're playing the right way. We don't give up a lot of shots. We take everything high risk away, so it's hard for the other team. But I still think we can be lots better as the playoffs continue, and hopefully the playoffs do continue.
Well, looking forward to that. Thank you so much for sharing your memories, your passion for the game, and go Leafs go.
Go Leafs go. Thank you.
Clark.
Have a great time. Thank you.